Machiavelli wrote that centuries ago. If you read between the lines, he was warning men. The moment you stop seeing clearly, when love blinds you, you risk trading freedom for a deal where the house always wins. And today, that deal is called marriage. Before you roll your eyes thinking this is another angry rant, let's be clear. This isn't about hating marriage or women. This is about why marriage, as it exists today, is rigged against men, psychologically, financially, and even biologically. And the last principle I'll reveal? It's the Machiavellian play that flips this entire game on its head. Miss that, and you'll be stuck playing by rules designed to make you lose. Let's start with a scene you know too well, even if you've never admitted it. You pull into your driveway after another 12-hour grind. The lights are on, the house looks warm, but you're sitting in your car debating whether to walk in. Not because there's danger, but because there's nothing waiting for you inside. Your wife hasn't touched you in months, your kids barely grunt in your direction, and every conversation turns into a cross-examination about something as stupid as how you loaded the dishwasher. You're not a husband anymore. You're an employee, one who apparently failed orientation. Psychologists call this role engulfment. It's what happens when your identity gets reduced to a single function: provider, helper, problem solver. You stop being seen as a man and start being seen as a utility. It's the same phenomenon that happens to soldiers returning from war. They go from heroes to just taxpayers overnight, and it crushes them. Except here, the war is your job, and the battlefield, your living room. And the really twisted part? It doesn't start with malice. It starts with conditioning. Early in marriage, you get affection, intimacy, and gratitude. Over time, those rewards get rarer, more unpredictable. Psychologists call this intermittent reinforcement, the same system slot machines use to keep gamblers hooked. One random compliment, one good weekend, and suddenly you're hooked again, doing even more to earn the next hit of validation, even though it's coming less and less. Meanwhile, loss aversion kicks in, the human tendency to fear losing what we have twice as much as we value gaining something new. You start telling yourself, it's not that bad, leaving would ruin me financially, the kids, so you endure. But here's the kicker. This isn't endurance. This is learned helplessness, the same psychological state Martin Seligman induced in dogs by shocking them repeatedly while giving them no escape. Eventually, the dogs stopped trying to escape, even when the cage door opened. Millions of men, same cage, no electricity, just constant criticism, rejection, and the quiet death of self-respect. And here's where the humor kicks in, because if you don't laugh, you might cry. You're basically paying a mortgage, buying groceries, mowing the lawn, and being scolded for breathing too loudly in your own house, all while the guy down the street, who's single and eating frozen pizza every night, has more freedom, more sleep, and probably more sex. That's not a marriage. That's a subscription plan you can't cancel, where the premium keeps going up while the perks vanish. Now, Machiavelli would ask a simple question. What's in it for you? Break it down logically. Companionship? You can get that dating. Kids? Possible without marriage. Sex? Statistically drops off a cliff, with up to 40% of marriages labeled sexless by clinical standards, less than 10 times a year. Social approval? Lasts about as long as a free trial. On the risk side, half your assets if it ends, alimony, potential loss of your kids, and a permanent dent in your sanity. Be honest, would you sign any other contract with those odds? Would you buy a car with no engine, no warranty, and a lifetime payment plan just because everyone else is doing it? The reason most men still sign is psychological, not logical. From birth, we're conditioned. Sacrifice equals love, silence equals strength, and wanting respect makes you toxic. TV shows portray fathers as idiots. Family courts stack the deck, and friends tell you, that's just marriage, man. And you swallow it because everyone is swallowing it. But here's where the Machiavellian angle sharpens. None of this works if you keep your leverage. Men who avoid becoming prisoners, don't necessarily avoid relationships. They avoid dependence. They keep their financial independence, social circle, and purpose outside of their partner. They negotiate respect with boundaries, not begging. They never sacrifice the traits, confidence, decisiveness, independence that drew their partner in the first place. Because here's the brutal truth. The moment you give up those traits, not only do you lose leverage, you often lose her respect, too. If you're still watching, ask yourself, which man are you becoming? The one slowly eroding in silence? Or the one who knows how to navigate this rigged system without losing his soul? Because if you don't make that choice consciously, the system will make it for you. And when it does, you won't even notice until one day you're the guy in the driveway, hands on the wheel, dreading the front door. If you're serious about not becoming that man, stop just watching these videos. Hit subscribe, turn on the bell, because the next video, it's the one where I'll break down the 5 Machiavellian laws that make any man untouchable in love and life. Skip it, and you're walking blind into the very traps you now know exist. Watch it, and you'll see how to flip the board completely. Your call.